I want to make a quad cab. So we're going to hack up this one, keep this as our nice cab, but this one's going to be the back half of the cab. Kind of cool to even paint it up the same. I don't know. We'll see where the game takes us, but first things first, I want to get this out of the package. There we go. We got 269 Fords. I want to keep those wood panels on the box most likely, and we'll continue taking this one apart. You usually just scrape off the little bit of plastic that's holding these bumpers on. You can just push them out, no problem. So we're going to try to save everything, because having a nice junkyard of parts is how you make really cool customs. I'm going to cut the pillar off, and then probably right from this crease down, and then it'll leave me a little bit of room for final fitting, and we'll save this front clip. You know, this could go on something. We'll get the cringe going here, and we'll cut this bad boy. So that's our good cab, and we're ready to cut the back off it. And we're going to marry these two together and see what is left for bodywork. Yeah, so we're basically going to be cutting it right to there. So I want to make sure we have a nice big JB Weld bead in here. We can clean it up later. Better to have too much than too little. It's going to take forever just to file this normally, so we're going to speed things up. I'm going to use an 80 grit flapper wheel. And we'll just buzz this and get as close as we can. So that feels pretty smooth at this point. I am going to have to do a little bit of sanding on here, but I do want to clean up this side quite a bit just to make sure that everything's going to be okie dokie. I'm pretty well going to be filing this until it's completely gone, so we end up what we have on this side. Just nice little door seams, and that is it. I got to do some work on this rear window, but for the most part this side is done. Alright, she's looking pretty decent now, so I'm really feeling this so far. I think we're about ready to do a little bit of priming here and get an idea of how much more putty we're going to need to put on. I'm going to protect the dash with a little bit of liquid mask, and then we'll get a primer coat on here and see how it looks. So I hit her cab with a little bit of primer. The roof looks great. Beautiful transition there. There's like nothing to be seen. Just smoothing out the JB Weld was enough, and the primer actually sealed it, so it's very pleasing. Normally when you use Bondo, like automotive Bondo, the primer gets absorbed and you'll see an edge, but not in the case with this JB Weld, so that's really good news. So I'd like to see about mixing up some of this paint now to try to match this as best we can. I definitely don't want to repaint all this nice detail work in the back, so we got to really match our paint here as best we can. So let's do that and see how it goes. Got a couple cups. I'm going to start with white. Couple drops of black. A little bit of balancing clear. I'm going to reduce this just a little bit. There we go. Now we got some nice sprayable paint. We can start on this kind of creamy white. That should be pretty easy. A little bit of white. One little teeny drop of yeller. And we'll thin out this one a little teeny bit. I'm not 100% confident that our colors are going to match completely, so I'm going to scuff these and we're going to repaint the sides. These wooden panels are glued on, so taking them off is more than likely just not going to happen. So I'm going to just prep the sides for paint with a little Scotch-Brite here. We're going to mask off the back and just hope that the color match is good enough. So we'll have to see. Welcome back to Jimmy's Auto Body Shop. There's just such nice details on the back. I just cannot lose those. They're done so well. I need them in my life. Gotta have them on the truck. Because I'm not going to be able to replicate that by any means. I just want a bigger truck, that's all. I'm just going to leave these edges just hanging off the side. Just like that, and then our paint is going to go to there, and that's going to be it. Let's make sure all this is pushed down nice. Got a nice edge. I think what I'm going to do is paint the whole cab in the lighter color first, let it cure, and then we'll come back, tape it off, and then do the green. I think that's going to be our plan of attack. That's just about bang on. So we're going to let this dry and then we're going to do our green. I am feeling this. Boop. Heavy man, sweet quad cab. Alright, now we got to do an epic tape line here. Trying to make sure that whole trim line is exposed so we could get a nice trim on the side. They had a pretty thick chrome line on here before, so we're going to try to replicate that as close as I can. Hell yeah, man, it's like it was made. Beautiful. It's like they used Quicksilver themselves. Oh yeah, it's looking real good. I like it. I like it, except for that little crusty spot. I like it. I'd like to get those door handles painted, and I think are ready to clear coat after that. While that's drying, we'll work on the base. You feel me? Alright, now we got to see about extending this base a little bit. This is our good base. I guess it doesn't really matter. This hitch is removable. I'm just going to use a zip disc. And I plan on just connecting it like that. I just don't know exactly where I got it cut yet. Go through the old tickle trunk here. Grill, steering wheel, back bumper, spare, got mirrors. We'll just merely put both interiors in. They shouldn't have any problems. I don't think we're going to be gluing from the back this time, so we'll go right from the front. Ah, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Man, I'm so glad we were able to save that tailgate. A little engine installed. Hell yeah. And we got these side mirrors we gotta do. Beautiful. Pretty pleased with that, going from a single cab to a quad cab. How did our color match do? Not bad. It's off by just a hair. A little bit more peach over here, but that's okay. I think leave a like right now if you enjoyed that. I plan on doing more stuff like this. Get our little hay trailer on. Yeah. I think we can safely say we turned this into at least a 3/4 ton, if not a 1 ton. Some big mags on there. Hell yeah, that was sweet. So there you go, guys. That's our quad cab project. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making this, even though it was kind of a pain. Repainting it a couple times, dealing with all of the JB quick weld and everything was also kind of a disaster, but I think overall, generally, it turned out pretty good. A bit dirty on the windshield here, but got a little motor in there. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to Diecast Resurrection. Today we are working on another crew cab project. Here we have a Ford M2 1970 F100 custom 4x4. It's got a little toolbox there, which is very cool. But yeah, it's got that kind of sag to it, so to free this from its little display. I love how this thing's got white mags, because that's a factory thing. When you buy like these old 4x4 trucks, white steel rims. So I've got this. So there's another M2 F100 I was doing something with, but my project didn't quite work out. So we're going to use this as our donor cab, and we're going to make another 4-door truck, which I think is going to be awesome. Easy, easy, easy. There, so we've got a pristine box. It's got a nice little engine bay. We even got a battery. Since I got this cab stripped already, all this stuff out of the front, I think I'm going to just leave all this together in the front clip of this cab, and we'll cut this one. And that way we save all this in one chunk. And I'm not trying to scramble for a little motor when I need it in the future. So this will be the main cab on our truck. And this will be the rear portion of the cab on our truck. And then we'll use this box. And we got ourselves a crew cab or four-door, a duo cab, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to end up gluing these in place. And the back of this cab is pretty well going to come all the way up to here. Alright, so I trimmed up the back of our cab a little bit more. And I got it pretty close to where I want it. Really makes the project next level by having those loose doors on the back. It's a lot more than I actually bargained for. I didn't think this project through as good as I should have, but I still think we're going to be okay. So what I'm thinking with these doors, it's not going to be much fun, but I think I'm going to have to cut the posts on these doors right here and then make them run straight up and down, and then I'll curve the corner like this. So you can see how much of that door we're going to have to trim off, so it's going to get pretty complicated here. Obviously you can see this door sticking out quite a bit, so I'm going to have to trim that off before we stick it back on. But it's nice that we have a nice actual pillar there, because that's going to look a lot nicer when we have it painted, rather than trying to create something out of JB Quick Weld like we did on the last one. So it's nice that we got an actual metal frame door in there. I got the door glued in completely right now, so I should be able to just make a line, trim off whatever's extra on that door, and stick those together. That was a good start. This was pretty tricky to do, but you know, do what you gotta do. That's what it looked like before, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on this one. So then I just take this little piece and I fit it right back on just like this. Very nice. Okay, next step, got to cut the rest of these doors off and get it on the back of our truck. Okay, I've cut the back of our cab off, and now we begin the process of truing up these two pieces on emery cloth or sandpaper until we have a nice perfect fit. A little bit more right here to bow it out a little bit. I'm doing it this way instead of using a file because it keeps everything kind of square. Okay, I think we're there. That's as far as I'm going to go with it. So we're going to mix up some regular JB. A little container here. Alright, I've got my little tack weld in place. Just one little teeny drop of super glue holding it. So now I'm free to JB away. You got to put quite a bit on the roof because it does do a taper. Putting on a little bit too much is no big deal. We're going to be able to just dig through that JB Quick Weld and then find our die cast again and just clean it all up. So I'm just trying to be pretty liberal with it. Okay, that should be enough. It's more than enough, but I can clean that up no problem. So we've got that aligned pretty good. This door sags a little bit so it doesn't look perfect unless this door is up. I'm using a file, but I'm just kind of scraping along here. So I gave this a quick sand just to smooth this out with a little bit of 400. So we're getting pretty close now. Really liking the transition here. It looks really good. Getting to the point where I think we can put some putty, cover the whole roof in putty, and I'll do the sides here, and we'll really try to blend everything together, get it looking good bodywork wise. Anyway, try to get this all cleaned up with some Scotch-Brite before I putty. That way I'm not trying to work around the putty to just clean these doors up and stuff later on. And I got to zip off this front fuel filler. See you later, filler neck. This stuff will take the color off your hobby mat, so you got to be real careful with this. You spill that anywhere, it's going to leave a mark. My fave. Most of this will be coming off. We're just trying to be liberal at this point. So we get a nice finished look when we're done here. We're going to let that dry. And I'll come back and we will sand that. Going to try to score out our door frame lines again so we don't lose those details. But this top should blend real nice, and I don't think we're going to have any more real issues going forward here. So I've extended the base. This is what it looks like, just roughly figured out. So far so good. Connected all the frame rails and even doubled up our exhaust system here, which is perfect because I can use all the factory screw holes and everything. Even the one that connects the cab to the back of this frame. I think next time we do one of these kind of builds, we're going to do a dually. And I imagine we'll just progressively get more and more redneck as time goes on. And I should be using a sanding board for this kind of auto body. So what I'm going to do is just use one of my files here. And we're just going to roll it up. And I got a nice flat sanding board that's got some spine to it. Alright, I think I'm getting to the point here where we can see how this is going to look in primer. I would like to throw the doors back on. Yeah, man, that's a nice crew cab you got there, Jimmy. I love doing these trucks. We got to find some Chevys, though. Starting to look like something now. Got the little toolbox on the back. This is metallic light brown, and I'm not sure what it's going to look like. You can see it hasn't been mixed for 20 years. Big old crew cab, but it'll still be kind of flaky, so I think that's going to be our color. I ran into some of the same problems as I did on the previous build, and that was the transition between the rear of this cab and the start of this cab. So this little section right here, if you remember on our last build, same thing. So this one, I don't know, it's not bad, but I think if I were to do it again, when I go to marry the two cabs together, I'm going to use my epoxy putty. Because the problem is when I try to find this little door jamb line. The JB Quick Weld just doesn't carve nice, where the putty carves very nice, as you guys know when I customized that engine into the hood of that big banger we did the other day. So I'm not super pleased with the way that area turned out, but it's another learning experience for me. So I think with these things, it's going to be third time's the charm. I don't know, it's been good practice anyways. Let's pop the hood here, check this out. Got a real poor amount of light under there, but got everything in the engine bay all back together. Looking sharp. Batteries back in there. One thing I do love about this is look how much taller it is. Which is totally cool because it just screams 4x4 and this just screams two-wheel drive. Still be a pretty cool little truck to have on the desk here next to the other ones. So I'm feeling that. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm not sure what the next project's going to be, but yeah, stay tuned. Consider subscribing if you want to. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, Jimmy. Pretty good fitment. Pretty good fitment. Not too bad. I think next time around I might make the sleeper a little bit taller. Might be a little bit unrealistic at that point there. And I'm going to try to make it wider. I wasn't thinking about it at the time, but usually the overhang on the sides is like quite a bit more. It's usually like out here and you got room for jacks and everything. So put that into consideration for the next time we do one of these. Back looks pretty good. You can still see the license plate. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little model for sure. Anyways. I like it. I like it. But we could definitely improve on the design. So we're going to let this dry completely. Let this water get out of here. And we'll get it in the paint booth and get some color on it. Oh, and one more thing I wanted to show you. I designed winch bumpers and winch combos. This is the very first print I did on my Photon. So we might put a winch bumper, winch package on the front of this and turn it into a whole camping 4x4 off-road hunting truck, if you know what I mean. Super cool. Now we can detail the winch separately from the bumper and take it to a next level. And then slap this baby on the front of here. It's going to be so cool. Alright, here comes our first stripe. It's going to be the dark metallic brown, the same thing that we got going on the Ford. So we're going to marry this camper to that Ford now that it's going to be matchy-matchy. It's going to be worth it though anyways. Whoops-a-daisy, I forgot to hit record. Just in time. I was just talking about how this Createx paint is doing a really good job sticking to this resin. No primer. Nice crispy classic line. Look at that. Hell yeah. Gonna give this a few minutes to dry, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna do a lighter color brown stripe up top to really tie the room together. And we'll see about doing some chrome trim and detailing up our curtains and things. Okay. So that's all. Classic. Yes. So let this dry. We're going to try to detail up these little curtains a little bit. Do some trims on this thing. Tail lights, etc. And hopefully we can slap it on the truck. Awesome. It's looking pretty good. I really wanted to do a pattern on these curtains, but I don't know, I'm kind of chickening out. Chickening out, man. Definitely got to be mismatched curtains. Alright, I'm stopping there before I get too far off the beaten path here. I'm not any kind of weathering master, so we're going to just stop and get it on the truck, get this video finished. So let's have a look-see. Check it out. I think that looks pretty darn good coming out of a printer. I got our winch on. Look at that thing. I wish I owned this. I wish this was my truck in like real life, because I would 100% drive that bad boy every day. I love it. This turned out really good. I didn't have any thread that was fine enough to do a hook. It would have been like a big, it would have looked like a big rope. So I'll think about that in the future. Any of these little parts I make, I am going to make available to you guys to just download for free. You can print out whatever you want. I just have to get some finishing touches on some stuff, make sure the files are nice and they're ready to print. And I will start posting a link in my description where they're going to be available. Thingiverse probably. It won't be there in this video, but I'll try to get it up as soon as I can. So yeah, that winch is really cool. Let's get a little close up on that bad boy. It definitely gets the job done. Let's see this little camper. I don't know, those windows, I really struggled trying to make. I really wanted like patterned crappy curtains, but you know, whatever. Is what it is. Oh, what's this on the side of the truck? I got some paint or something on the side of there. I'll have to clean that up. Overall, I think the old camper turned out pretty good, Anyways, that's all for today, guys. I'm not sure what's coming up next, but I will, well, you'll just find out, I guess. So, see you in the next one.